speed is learning to run slower. There's a big push at the moment, and it's good seeing it, but it almost goes in like trends. You guys probably agree, you see all this zone 2 coming up, and people's like, oh, I want to hit zone 2, I want to be in zone 2 and stuff.
Get ready to be very bored.
Yeah, zone 2 is literally like sitting on the toilet with a newspaper. Like it's pretty shit, but you just kind of do it. You just got to do it.
You do it?
Yeah. Glasses
Newspaper's
off.
still a thing?
Yeah,
So and then you just wipe with that.
Appointment with the King's Throne, mate.
Oh, you can't rush it. Tay rush.
You can't rush it. Exactly. So you're getting rushed on the King's Throne. It's recipe for disaster, and that's the same with running.
All right, welcome to episode 5.
Episode 5.
We're starting this off a little different today.
Oh, we're starting off with a beer.
Look at that.
Straight off the captain's
Go get it.
I'm gonna break you.
Come on, Piers. Let's go.
I'm going to
shot
start
in.
with the beer.
Hey.
All right, so a little disclaimer: these are over a year old. So
There's two of them. Brigger and I will share. We'll share one.
Wait, hold on. To clarify,
We share everything now anyway.
right. So these were packaged in 2022.
no, we're gonna get your live reaction together.
We'll share.
They
Live
actually
reaction.
went off in
Right.
April 2023. So that is now
Oh, it's only 6 months.
5 months ago.
Well, cheers, mate.
Well,
Hopefully,
first beer review. This is also something we're going to be doing moving forward.
hopefully it ages like wine.
We forgot the beers. Oh, she's good.
You know, I think it's really hard for a beer to taste shit.
Yeah. If it was
3 years old, I'd probably drink it.
Yeah, drink it warm. I drink it.
I just think it's a little bit more bitter than what a normal Stone and Wood
I
is.
don't know. I don't know if it's better.
Speaking of Stone and Wood, this could be something for them. Like they could maybe
Sponsor us.
age their beer a little bit more. 'cause
He
that's,
was going for another sponsorship. Actually, just quickly, Stone and Wood, if you're listening,
no, because
we'll drink you out of date beer.
We've got our friends at Six Strings, which we forgot their beers. They did give us beers and we forgot to bring them away with us.
So shit from us.
That's
Sorry,
so
Six
So
Strings.
now we've got off.
Sorry,
Stone and
Six
Wood.
Strings. We did a whoopsie.
Might have one more of that.
Yeah, it is nice, but if Six Strings were here, had it not been for us being
It just
bad
smells.
boys,
the judge of this.
It just smells.
Funky.
don't smell it. There's nothing.
That's good.
There's
Yeah, it's
nothing
good.
good that ever comes
it's
from
like-
smelling something
A
first.
little bit more bitter,
A
yeah.
little bit more bitter than a normal Stone and Wood. It'll put some hairs on your chest, mate.
Piss has already got a collar there. What's under that first button, mate?
Pop one for it.
Oh, the collar, mate. What's doing?
Yeah,
He's been bloody full. Look at ya.
I gotta pay extra for that.
It's good that Jay wore his button up today. Thanks for
Yeah.
that.
Cheers for joining the
I'll just
team.
take the shirt off instead.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah,
We
subscription.
should do a Budgies only episode.
Budgies only.
Yeah.
Oh, give us a couple more weeks back from Europe.
God, give me 3 years.
Getting out of my skinny fat period.
2 days into my deficit and I've already eaten grilled. So.
Yeah.
Well-
thanks for that.
Once again, shout out to Grill, just hooking us up.
Yeah, that's actually mad. Caesar's Palace. Actually, Simon
Corey,
says. Simon
Zen
says. Hey.
The Zen hand.
Yeah, no, I don't get that.
It's got peanut sauce on it, and Jaden is allergic.
Yeah, if you're one of them losers like me who's allergic to nuts, don't get the Zen hen.
Actually not.
Is that mine? You right?
We're now
Hey,
sharing.
live a little.
Live a little, I say. All right, well, let's bloody get on with this. Because,
Rat bagging, mate.
yeah, we're talking shit, and you're good at it. Some serious value that we need to be putting out with this podcast, so
Let's do it. All right. So, sport's done and dusted.
It is.
Shout Briggsy out
Yeah,
again
all
for winning.
the important sport anyway.
did you guys win your seasons?
What's the question?
Anyway, so sports finished. All right, so intro to running. How do people get into running now that sport's finished without obviously injuring themselves? Shin splints very common this day and age. Briggsy knows that firsthand.
Horrible.
So what's your best advice getting back into running this summer?
Don't do it. Nah,
Quick.
Jaden definitely take this one because
I'm a nerd.
Well, I can talk from experience though. Like I
Yeah.
had over a year of shin splints, but it was because it was essentially my running load was just way too much when I decided to get back into rugby. So
It is tough though because Briggsy is an athlete, so he can kind of do everything.
wrong,
Right.
wrong. When I wasn't able to walk on Sundays, and sometimes part of Mondays, it's not worth it. So that's not an athlete at all.
Getting back into running. All right, run slow to run fast. That is the biggest part, and ease into it. It's such a shit answer. I know it doesn't have any good legs to stand on, but the tough thing with running, people always get into it, and the first run's always going to feel pretty good because you're fresh and you haven't been doing it. Running is a very high impact activity to do. Like when you're thinking about it, you're landing, 100, 125%, sometimes 150% body weight you're landing on each leg because we're used to walking, having 2 feet on the ground. So, and a lot of people typically run on concrete, roads or pathways or things like that too. In terms of avoiding these little niggling injuries popping up, one of the very common ones being shin splints, or, typically what people refer to as runner's knee. So pain in the lateral knee. A lot of the times it's overuse. It can come down to running mechanics as well, which is a whole other kettle of fish that you can dive into. But before going into that, to avoid running into these things, start cruisy. If you want to go out and hit a 5K thinking like, I wonder what I can run a 5K, start with 3K. Start with intervals, going out and running 1 to 2 minutes of running on at a cruisy pace, followed by 1 to 2 minutes of walking. Like even just breaking that up consistently and breaking up the force that you're exerting through the legs, it makes a massive difference. The point I want to add on to that as well in terms of speed is learning to run slower. There's a big push at the moment, and it's good seeing it, but it almost goes in like trends. You guys probably agree, you see all this zone 2 coming up, and people's like, I want to hit zone 2, I want to be in zone 2 and stuff.
Get ready to be very bored.
Yeah, zone 2 is literally like sitting on the toilet with a newspaper. Like it's pretty shit, but you just kind of do it. You just got to do it.
You do it?
Yeah. Glass
Newspaper's still a thing?
Yeah, so
and then you just wipe at that.
appointment with the King's Throne, mate.
Oh, you can't rush it. Tay rush.
You can't rush it. Exactly. So you're getting rushed on the King's Throne. It's recipe for disaster, and that's the same with running. So when we talk about zone 2, it's bringing it right back. Like sometimes I've prescribed running for people in zone 2, and they'll be running at like, they're used to running at like a 5 or 5:30 minute per kilometer pace, and they end up running at like a 7:30, sometimes even 8 minute kilometer pace, because typically we go off heart rate. So even looking at below 145 beats per minute is typically a good start. It varies for different people based off their age and based off their fitness level, I should say, sorry. But yeah, just start running slow. Like if you want to actually do it for the longevity of running and start to run these higher Ks consistently, you have to learn to run slow, because if you're constantly going out on every run just trying to PB it all the time, it's going to be too much volume too quickly. It's quite taxing on the body, what people don't realize, especially if you're coupling that with weight training as well, or some other sort of sport, which coming into summer sport, you've got things like touch footy and Oztag and stuff kicking up. So they would be my 2 pieces of advice. Start running slow and start with shorter distances, and even breaking it up into intervals. If you can't bring yourself to cutting down the distance, break it up into intervals. Even if it's like 2 minutes or 3 minutes of running and 30 seconds of walking, it's going to be better in the long term.
Yeah, I like that response. Yeah, I'm sort of the same. Like Donnie knows firsthand, am not the best at easing into my running.
None of us are really.
I am, because I just decided to not
You
do it.
don't run.
Yeah, but like I'll probably more do as I say, not as I do, sort of thing. But a way that I sort of like to force myself into intervals is even go to like an oval. It's a set distance. Say you go to a footy oval, you've got 400 meters to run around. You do a lap, then you walk a lap, and you run a lap, and then walk a lap. And it just forces you, if you're running on a straight road, you get stuck in that rhythm. You're like, oh, I can keep going. I feel good. Whereas it forces you, once you get back to the starting point, you got to start walking again. And that's sort of the easiest way I sort of like to get into intervals. But I agree, like you got to learn to run slow, which sucks. People hate doing it.
If you want to get a little cheeky high and get a good workout in, then just run and do what you do, and run and run fast or run fire and do it. But if you're genuinely wanting to run consistently, so if you're wanting to do multiple runs a week and you're wanting to slowly get fitter in terms of actually expanding the distance that you can run, you have to learn to run slow. If you're wanting to just get a little sweat on and get that little runner's high and feel good after, I mean, go for your life. You're going to do it anyway. It's going to be hard to convince someone to do that, but They would be our pieces of advice.
Yeah, and look, it's very individualized. Like every person is different. So
100%.
I'd be, if you're considering starting to run, like the boys are saying, take it easy first, but track how far you've gone. Maybe you start with, like Jaden said, maybe it's 1 kilometer, maybe 2 kilometers, and it's interval based, and then see how you feel the next day. Because those shin splints, they can come on obviously whilst you're running for sure, like when they do start to kick in, but sometimes you get pain like the day after. For me, it was really common with rugby. I was playing on a Saturday, and I guess you're in the moment, adrenaline's there, so you're kind of pushing through. And I'm strapped up as well, but it's the Sunday where I'm like, fuck, like my shins are cooked. So definitely take like the first couple of weeks, do maybe one run, at the start of the week, and just see how you feel. What's Monday like? What's Tuesday like? What's Wednesday like? Okay, can I maybe push it a little bit further, add 10% each week,
And if you do wake up and you are sore, then excluding the first couple of times, because anytime you do new sort of training or a new stimulus on the body, you're always destined to be quite sore. But after a couple of weeks, if you're starting to get sore in these places, you're probably doing too much. So you've got to pull it back. And that's
and the
easy rule of
saunas,
thumb.
I'm saying there's like specifically in that area.
Yeah.
I was getting it really bad in the medial side, but I know it's pretty common to get it at like the front of the shin as well. So just take it slow.
Yeah, I think people always like complain's probably not the right word, is like, oh, I can't run slow, like it hurts my knees more and stuff. It's like you can opt that out for low impact stuff. So go for swims, go for bike rides.
Totally, man.
Do all that sort of stuff where the impact isn't on your joints as hard. And then that's where you can build up your aerobic capacity to be able to run. Once you start running, you won't need to run at an 8-minute pace because your conditioning will be
that's a
higher.
good point. Yeah, the zone 2, it's not only achieved through running.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on your goal. Like if you're wanting to run because you want to get better at running, well,
run.
You have to run. But if you're wanting to get fitter, like if you're wanting to build your aerobic capacity, there are so many different ways you can do it that are, like you said, a lot less impact on the body, which, I would opt towards something like swimming or riding a bike, something that's a lot more low impact on the joints.
Yeah, really hard to achieve different zones on a bike, I've found. Not in regards to a stationary bike, because I think that's doable, quite easy. But I'm like I had a mountain bike for a bit, just take that for little rides, but it's very hard. It's very hard. So probably a stationary bike if you were going to choose one or the other there.
It's a great segue into the next question. Is training like an athlete, or hybrid training that it's commonly known as this day and age, the missing piece to longevity? So what I mean by this, everyone out there, is like, do we age poorly because we stop training like we're young?
Do you want to hit this one first, or do you want me to get stuck in?
Get started. I feel like you're roaring.
You've got ready for these questions. I love it.
I get a sip of beer and he's like, let's go.
Hey, also the aftertaste on that's a bit. I'm almost finished.
I was going to say, you just keep going, yeah.
Hands on the chest.
So you're saying the hybrid approach to training, is that the key to longevity?
Yeah,
And we're talking hybrid training, not our gym training.
Yeah. But if you're looking for a program, reach out.
If you come to Hybrid HQ, you will live forever.
Yeah, so obviously someone that we all follow closely, like Blaine, Story Puppy on Instagram, if you want to follow him. He always says like he's hitting PBs at 38 or 39 or wherever he is now because he never stopped training like an athlete. Whereas you find people when they get to their late 20s, early 30s, they stop jumping, they stop running, they stop moving how they used to because they're aging, right? But are they aging because they stop training like that?
100% the latter. 100% the latter. It's interesting, man. You could dive into this so many different ways. I don't think there's a one size fits all answer with it, but looking from a personal perspective, like I just don't want to be that washed up dad. There's camping and he's like, someone wants to kick the footy and you're just like, the knees are pretty bad. Like, can't. How are you feeling that? Oh, I can't. Mitchy can't because his shins are sore.
Yeah.
They're good now.
But it's interesting. Like, it's interesting when people reflect on those things and they're like, when I was younger, I used to play footy and I used to do this, and then they stop. And you're right. It's interesting why we stop. Like, obviously we do those things, and typically a lot of people will go to their footy trainings and stuff because it directly correlates with them playing footy. And what they enjoyed doing was playing footy. It was not so much the running aspect or lifting weights. They didn't enjoy that as much, but they did it so they could play footy. So when they stop playing the footy, they stop everything else that they do, which then in turn has this effect on their body. I definitely agree. I think as soon as you stop things, it's a move it or lose it situation. If you don't give something a reason to stick around, especially with our body, it won't, and it has no reason to. And I think it's even up from 25 to 26 years old, don't quote me, but like the body starts going into like a degenerative state in terms of percentage of muscle mass decreasing and things like that. So we really need to work harder in order to keep it around. In terms of going into your question about the hybrid approach, I mean, ultimately, I think at the end of the day, the thing that is most important is people sticking to something that they enjoy doing, because if they enjoy doing it, they're more likely to do it for longer. So we can sit here and preach like, oh, a strength program is the best thing to do. You should do powerlifting. You should do running. You should do a combination of both. You should do CrossFit. And at the end of the day, they all serve different purposes based off whether you're competing or different levels of fitness or different skill components. But if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to stick with it, especially long term. People struggle to stick with it in the short term of doing like an 8 or 12 week block. And there are going to be inevitably days where it's going to be hard to get to the gym or it's going to be hard to train, but you are going to have a better chance overall of sticking to something if you do enjoy doing what you're doing. So I like the idea of doing some sort of, people put a fancy name on it, hybrid. It's essentially just lifting weights, strength and conditioning, or lifting weights and running, or doing some sort of aerobic work. It doesn't have to be called hybrid training. It makes it sound a little bit more sexy and athletic and stuff like that, but there's nothing really fancy about it. Obviously the higher tier that you go with it, you have to be a bit more specific and with your structure in terms of how you do it, so they don't interfere with each other. But speaking of the general population, it's just about movement. Like, it's just about getting in some sort of movement. If you're doing some sort of weight training 2 to 3 times a week, you're getting in some sort of swim, bike, run, walk, incline walks, anything, like a dance class. It doesn't really matter. It's just a matter of, if you're moving, the chances of you improving the longevity of your life goes up massively. So people always chasing this fancy answer about it, and it's, unfortunately, it's not fancy, is it? I mean, any sort of...
No.
Yeah, it's literally not. Any sort of weight training and aerobic work that you put into your weekly schedule is going to benefit you massively. I think it's definitely beneficial to have some sort of aerobic work in there. I think it complements weight training really, really well in terms of recovery as well, in terms of how quickly you recover from session to session and set to set. So I would steer more towards that, but it comes down to people's goals and preferences too.
Bit of heart health in there.
Yeah, a bit of heart health.
Bit of heart health.
Yeah. What do you think, Brigger?
Yes, is my answer. It is, and it's...
Wish I knew that. I would have just said that.
Would have been a bit shorter for us.
Without being an extremist.
Yeah, he covered that pretty well. So.
But yeah, I agree with everything Jaden said. It's also why I think it's important to go through different phases of training. You know, a lot of people, let's take the bodybuilding route, a lot of them just focus on hypertrophy, and that's like the basis of their training career, you know, for most of them. And that could sometimes be 20 plus years. And I think if we're looking at from the longevity standpoint, if you go just strength training or just hypertrophy focused work, you're not really getting any of the potential benefits of, you know, cardiovascular based work, and vice versa, you know, when you swap those over. So I think intertwining the two, it's important for, you know, an overall a well-being and healthy approach to life. But then also comes the argument of specificity. If you want to be really good at something, like you touched on with your running before, that should probably take priority. But it doesn't mean that you can't have a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, look, I think for longevity wise, like I'm now thinking of someone that's 60, 70, 80 years old. And you see videos of people that are 80 and they're like in the gym, they're like lifting weights, they're looking after their health. And the reason that they're able to do that is because they're doing that.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like they have chosen to make that a part of their life. And that's why they're more mobile than any other 80, 85-year-old person out there. You know, so definitely from like 60 or like 50s onwards, I think it's so important to definitely prioritize both areas of your health.
It's definitely just a massive part of it is just an identity switch. So people go from growing through their youth of being identified as like, I played footy, I played soccer, I was dancing, I was swimming, and it semi like creates an identity of who you are, right? So it's not completely you, but it's part of you. That's what you refer to yourself as. And then once that's done, it's like, okay, well, what are you now? You know, what do you refer back onto what you do? And then that's where there's this kind of missing piece. It's like, well, you somewhat need to create this new identity in the sense of what your relationship is like to fitness. And it doesn't have to be attached to a sport. Like, I think older people look at it and be like, oh, well, all the things that CrossFit athletes do, like, oh, I couldn't do that. And they'll probably find more often than not, they go in there and there's so many regress versions that they could do a lot of the things. But from looking out as a window shopper, you go, there's no way I can do that. It's like, you don't have to identify yourself to any of those sports. You can just create a new identity towards a healthier version of yourself and figure out defining what that healthy version of yourself looks like, and then figuring out and putting the missing pieces in of that. So you don't have to attach yourself to a sport. You could do CrossFit related workouts, but you don't have to become a CrossFitter. You can just be doing it for health.
Yeah, like I like to ask myself the question, what would the ideal version of myself be doing in this situation? So
Totally.
that comes down to health.
Yeah, because I think that's what I've realized too is since I stopped like doing CrossFit, back when I used to do it with like Caleb and Hendo, wasn't very good. I did it.
Pretty well now with it.
But like I think once I stopped sort of competing in the open and stuff like that, I just stopped doing CrossFit style stuff because I was like, oh, not competing, don't need to do it. But then I think I lost a part of my training that I loved, which made it, and I constantly was like, why aren't I enjoying training as much? Like, what's happening? Well, I'm getting more injured now. What's that due to? And I think it was just, I wasn't doing the training I love, so I wasn't training as consistently. And then that had a repercussion on becoming more injured because I wasn't training, wasn't keeping my body healthy. So I think that's something that I've noticed and personally is like, I'm going to start getting back into that more, whether it's running, swimming, doing a WOD here and doing our community sessions once a Friday.
Yeah, Fridays
Once a Friday.
Once a month.
Once a month, yeah.
Once a month on a Friday.
Yeah,
there we go.
yeah.
I got there. So just doing stuff like that. And that's where the question came from was, is that a reason that I got injured because I stopped training like that? Or is it because I stopped enjoying my training? So it's just, can go either way.
It's paradoxical, man. Paradoxical. You can look at it two different ways, but at the end of the day, man, like people allow exercise sometimes to take over their lives. It becomes everything, and then at the same time can be everything that breaks them apart. You know, I very much take my training just as seriously as I did when I was younger, and really like everything I focused on. But we found more balance now. Like, I do it because it's fun and it's supposed to be fun. Like, even looking at getting in peak shape or having a certain aesthetic about you, it's great. Like, it's good to strive for those goals. But man, like when you're at the end of your life and you look back and you're like, yeah, I missed out on that because like I wanted to keep a six pack, or I missed out on that because I wanted to hit like a 5RM. If that's important to you at the time, sure. And there's the 1% athletes, like that matters 100%.
Sure.
But speaking specifically to like general pop people, enjoy it, man. Like, it will stick around and become part of your lifestyle so much more if you enjoy it. There are already so many things that so many people do in their life that is such a drag. One of them, the main ones being their jobs that a lot of people hate. Why pile something else on top of that that's also shit to do? Because then what part of your life are you actually enjoying besides going out and getting on the drink?
Yeah, and
Sauce. Yeah.
it's a bloody stressor. Like,
Totally.
training load is a stressor on the body.
100%.
If you start dipping mentally or into the thought patterns of like, I know that this is a stressor and I'm actually not even enjoying it, I'm doing it because I'm trying to look a certain way, that can end very badly.
Yeah.
Speaking from experience, for sure.
A lot of the people that are super consistent, yes, arguably they have great discipline and they do show up a lot of the times when they don't want to. But I think very closely behind that is they enjoy what they're doing, and that is why they stick to it. Like we love training. We genuinely enjoy training. We don't have to train. We could stop at any point, but
Yeah, that's actually a really good
we
point.
love it.
Yeah, that is actually a really good point. Like, you got to remember the people that a lot of people would look on Instagram at and aspire to want to look like and be. That is massive amounts of discipline and years of discipline of showing up and doing the same shit every fucking day. And you need to decide whether that's you. Like, mentally, is that you? Will that make you happy? Because I know people that are in crazy condition, but they're happy because it's what they love doing.
It's their life.
It's got to be realistic. Yeah.
Discipline comes on different levels. Like, what discipline looks like for one person might be different to us. Like, our minimum discipline might be getting to the gym 5 times a week. Someone else's discipline might be getting to the gym once a week.
Yeah.
So in terms of the scale, it's completely volatile and it can be variable from person to person, but there has to be a level of discipline in there too. Like saying it should be fun all the time doesn't mean every morning you wake up you will feel like doing something, but most of the time it should be enjoyable.
Yeah. So I think in a roundabout way, we sort of went on a tangent there.
Yeah.
But answering the question, I think missing piece of longevity is probably too broad, but picking a style of training that you can be consistent with will be beneficial for longevity.
Doing some sort of resistance training to promote muscle mass sticking around, because for injury prevention, especially
Bone
for older
density,
people,
joint
bone density as well, for older people and falls, things like that, that's just going to be beneficial. And something for the heart, something for, building aerobic capacity and just keeping the heart functioning well. Like those two main things, if you're doing some sort of activity that incorporates both of them together or separate.
Yeah, but like we were saying before too, like it doesn't have to be going for a run, going for a swim. Like if you are, it could be going to the park with your grandkids for half an hour
100%.
and running around with them. Like that doesn't have to be like this set structure. I'm going to go for a 30-minute run on Wednesday. It's like, take your dog for a walk 3 times a week.
If
It's
you
like,
don't
just do
enjoy,
little things.
if you don't enjoy the gym, find an activity that incorporates some form of movement that's away from focusing on movement as the direct thing.
Yeah. And if you can track and progress on that thing, then it's ideal.
Yeah.
But you don't have to. If it's for quality of life, just move.
And if you don't like moving, too bad. You got it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just a bit of a cop out and people say that's it.
All right, let's rapid fire. Donnie, straight to you. Something that pisses you off. Go.
Mate. Oh, this one.
Oh, fuck. He is in the zone.
Fuck, man. This grinds my gears, Rocky tables. It does not make sense to me, man. Every fucking cafe or restaurant you go to and you sit down, and it's always a fucking rocky table. Man, how do they even get out of production? Like I'm sitting here, like going through the numbers, crossing the T's, dotting the I's in a program, and these people are making bulk tables, bro, sending me out to cafes, and I'm sitting there for the first 10 minutes folding serviettes and fucking coasters, putting under the damn table. What's doing?
I've struck a nerve.
Bro, what is doing?
You all right?
It gets me fired up. That,
have a sip of that.
mate,
beer.
rocky tables and wind, those two things can fuck off.
Yeah, wind shits me.
Wind just doesn't do anything. It just makes everything Anyway.
I didn't think I was going to go there, but
Fuck.
have you got anything?
Oh, me? When you go out, having a couple of beers
At a rocky table.
at a rocky table and the beer's falling over everywhere. I know, you're going out and it gets to that point, it's maybe 9, 10 p.m. and you're like, well, might as well just stay out for a couple more hours, which obviously involves a few more beers. And you're starting to get to that point where you're a little bit tipsy, feeling good. But then there's like one guy that's always there and he doesn't understand personal space.
Oh my God. I can think of something straight away.
I know. And I'm just like, brother, I love you. I love you. But I like to actually breathe my own oxygen instead of having the air coming out of your mouth straight
They
into
come up
mine.
right near your chin. They're just like, hey,
And
Mitch.
this happened. And I'm like, I've probably done it before.
Hey,
so.
Fucking
Mitch,
Reese was
you-
breathing down my neck the other day.
Hey, Mitch, you've got it all, don't you? You just got it all figured out, don't you? Hey, can you get your fucking tongue off my cheek?
Cooked.
Yeah.
Anyway, Jane, what pissed you off?
Mine's only recently come back. Flies. What's their purpose?
Man,
True.
Are they good for anything?
True.
Does anyone know?
Huge answer.
What are they good
That's
for?
massive.
There's been one fucking pissing me off in here.
God, man.
I don't know what they're good for, and it just fucking grinds my gears.
Shittest thing.
That reminds me of my pa, the man. He passed away years ago, but he was one of those. He could just do everything. He just got shit done. Handyman around the house, like awesome father, awesome grandfather. And flies would always get on him. You fucking bastard! Fuck off, you bastard! He just always dropped that. So good.
He has more patience than me. I get in a punch on with myself, bro. Trying
Yeah.
to hit him off my man.
The shadow box in the gym.
Yeah, they're toilet.
Yeah.
Good question.
They suck.
All right. If you weren't a gym owner / personal trainer, what would your ideal career be?
OnlyFans? We're gonna do that together.
That wasn't mine. I was going to be a camel tamer.
Oh yeah.
Camel tamer?
What?
Yeah,
So what does that entail?
go out west somewhere, tame some camels over in the
Are there
summertime.
camels out there?
Maybe
Camels
go
in Taronga Zoo.
Taronga Zoo. Yeah, go overseas somewhere, go for a little stint. Came
Camels.
Came camels.
Came camels a little bit.
There goes that.
Tickle the fannels.
Maybe the
Yeah, tame
alcoholic-
camels. Yeah, just go out there, look, feed them a little bit. They're pretty.
Are they
cruisy,
wild?
humps.
Why do you need to tame them? Are they
I
like
don't know.
Broncos?
I've never actually seen the job. I've never seen someone do it. But when I think of it, I'm like, that can't be too hard. Just spending a bit of time there, save some coin.
It's a hard question because like you need money to survive. Like, is anyone going to pay you to do that?
I don't know, but
You're dead after like 2 weeks.
I have seen that.
And then the camels eat you.
Camel racing. I think it's in Afghanistan. Or is it Dubai?
Dubai,
Huge. Bro, some of those camels that win,
racing.
like they sell for like $20 million. If I tame that camel right and feed it well, that could
Definitely.
be the new lottery. So I'm just saying,
I like it.
if the gym fails, I'll
Get out of
probably
the
be out
box.
somewhere.
PSA dream job. If no, is it not dream?
Is
job?
it dream job or?
Yeah, it's like ideal job.
Ideal.
So I think that's probably not ideal.
That sounds like the shittest setup.
Maybe.
Well,
do you
probably
want to rethink?
Yeah, it's not ideal.
Nah, you've had your shush. You've had your jets.
Ideal, if I had this skill, I'd probably 100-meter sprint, be an Olympian. I don't know, I've just always loved 100-meter sprint.
You had the potential too in younger,
Yeah.
before the injuries and politics, mate.
I had full politics.
Probably
Oh,
meant
it
something.
is.
Politics.
It's politics.
Politics
They didn't put you
and
out
injuries,
there.
mate.
I know.
It would have meant something.
Probably couldn't have done it, but
Nice. I like that.
yeah, but that's just shortens it. It's 100-meter sprint, you know, it's 10 seconds to do your work.
That's heaps better.
It is max effort. Gas for like a minute after.
Yeah. Sweet.
Body's refueled. You're good. You're done.
Easy as a hat.
I like it. I don't know. Hey.
He's gonna give some like heaps
serious.
heartfelt answer, like, man, I'm living my ideal dream. I'm just like surrounded by good people. Like, I don't know, you guys want to go somewhere else? I love what I do.
even talking about wanting to do something else. I don't know. I'm heaps happy. So, anything sport related. Well, obviously not good enough to play high level rugby, but bit of footy.
Be a commentator, maybe.
Oh, that'd be pretty sick, actually.
You get
Or a
on commentator.
coach.
I reckon you do good at commentating. Yeah,
Actually, we
you'd
are
be-
coaches.
You'd be a kids
Scrap
coach.
that.
You'd be a good rugby kids coach.
Working with kids
Maybe
or
tourism too. I can see you taking a few things out touristing. People coming over.
just so everyone listening, there's my answer from Jaden.
Do you need any more? I'll give you a couple more.
Next.
All right. Favorite book. I can start if you like.
Green lights.
Ikigai.
Is that I haven't read it.
I've read that maybe like 4 years ago. Cooney got it.
Cooney's got a wonderful selection.
Oh, Atomic Habits actually is good, but I've already said mine, so I can't say that. Yeah, it's just about. I don't even know what it's about. No, it's about like the Japanese culture and how
Jackson P are special.
they like longevity in their life. If they just live the same life, they follow the Ikigai, which is like a roadmap of.
I like it.
Great book.
I haven't read
They're
that
really
yet.
fulfilled.
You've got it actually if you want it.
A lot of the Japanese, they're very fulfilled, and it's off very just minimalist.
Oh yeah.
What we would perceive as smaller things in life, but it's the stuff that matters. It's just connection with each other, and it's beautiful. I need to actually read that. I've heard that book.
Bring it in.
It's a great book.
I got a
Crazy.
great blueprint in for you, by the way. Actually, still got that at home.
What's yours?
Green Lights, Matthew McConaughey, for sure.
Great book. Fantastic.
A lot of life lessons in there. I really, really like his, I don't know, just his whole aura and his approach to life. It's
He's a great
very
man.
wise.
We can do one of our.
Yeah, he actually came on an exchange here for his year 10. There was like some exchange they were doing in his school. Obviously, he's American, but he flew into Sydney and then ended up, he thought it was close to Sydney where he was going.
With the Dudleys.
With the Dudleys.
And cabbage and tomato sauce,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah.
And if you can listen to the audiobook, it's way better because he just keeps going. He's like, and we got to Gasper and then Warnervale. And he just keeps going and he's out bloody like nowhere that I've even heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a book.
Great book. Man, I've read a lot of good books in my time. A lot of good books. It's hard to choose. I was going to say Atomic Habits. Practically speaking, Atomic Habits would be my favorite. In terms of my overall favorite, what got me into reading a lot, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff by Richard Carlson. That book I've read that many times and always go back to it. It's kind of like my little life Bible. So based off all the books that I've gone through, it'd so many good books out there. That would have to be my favorite, just because of how many times I've gone back to it. I think that'd be my winner.
Love.
Cooney, you've got some good
Love. It's giving love.
It's giving.
It's giving.
Very nice.
That shouldn't
Alright.
be anything that pisses you off.
That pisses me off. That's a pet peeve. Can we quickly talk about
Let's
this?
go back to it.
What is this setup at the moment? Again, it's hard to describe, but like
Give
this.
example.
Yeah, Jaden's drinking a beer here, and instead of being like,
Oh, it's giving
oh,
bitter.
it's like
I'll
you're
finish mine.
Yeah,
It's giving bitter.
it's
Giving
like
bitter
a bit of
vibes.
beer. But people are just on Instagram just saying it's giving.
Oh,
It's giving.
Giving what? I don't understand it.
It's giving bitter.
I don't get it.
Don't know.
That's what happens when you get old. When you turn 26.
I'll be there one day, mate.
Yeah.
Maybe.
all right. If you could only do 5 exercises for the rest of your life, what would they be?
RDL. 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 RDL.
You love RDLs, eh?
Mm.
Yeah, absolutely. You and Claire fanatics for
Yeah.
RDLs.
It's a great movement. Do you want to go? 5.
Dumbbell flat bench. So fun. Wide grip seated row. Incline dumbbell curl. I'm going purely off enjoyment here. Fuck, I should probably put a leg thing in there. Hip thrust. I'll put a core. Hanging leg raise.
Mm.
I should have put triceps. I've got the shittest triceps on the coast too.
Incline tricep cable push down.
Incline tricep get pushed down. I'll put a wild card in there.
No.
One was just for longevity. One
There's
was,
clear set rules of this game, and it's 5 exercises.
he comes out, Mr. Briggsy again with all the rule books.
Didn't you get voted as serious guy at the group?
Hey, no, Claire
Was it
was.
me?
Or was it Reese? Oh no, I said Claire, and then I got the shit beat out of me. Who was it? No, it was you.
It was me, which is outrageous.
So true.
I said Reese. I think it's
Yeah, Reese just doesn't talk.
yeah, true. It's not really serious.
Peso, what's yours?
Great question.
You asked.
Great question. I probably should have thought about it, seeing I had the question. Dumbbell Bulgarian split squat,
I was going to, but
just for mental fortitude. Not heavy. You just
is that from your bloody Ikigai book, mate?
mental fortitude. Oh, that's a good one. Should I go whole body? Okay. Incline Smith machine press, because Briggsy and I did it yesterday, and they are very nice. Yeah, I'm very sore.
That's great.
Yeah. I probably should do some calves because mine are non-existent. So I'll stay on the Smith machine calf raises. V-bar tricep push down. And what's that bar that you bought the other day that rotates? The straight bar?
Oh, it's just a cable curl.
Cable curl. Though, with that bar though specifically.
That bar's good.
Because way nicer.
If I had access
Shipping
to
cost
it,
me more than the bar.
the preacher curl machine for biceps.
I've never used one.
Shortened.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, I've never used one.
Fantastic.
Not many gyms.
No, ours doesn't.
Nah.
None, unfortunately.
We side.
So,
Come to our gym, you get small arms.
all right.
Speak for myself.
Let's finish this on a deep one.
I get that we go.
You said RDLs. You had your go. You had said RDLs 5 times.
Go on, Brigger. Go on. Give us give us a serious answer.
Look at this.
Go on.
Oh, I should have done RDLs.
Go on.
I'll just jump in on your set.
I'm just going all RDLs. Legit. I'm taking the piss, yeah.
Oh.
That's all you need.
IDLs.
Yep.
Okay.
You'd still be bigger upper body than us.
Oh, shit.
All right.
Because I'm taller.
What scares you in life?
Failure.
It's all right, Briggs. If you fail, mate,
I knew you'd have my back.
I'll pick you up, mate. It's failure, mate. It's a learning lesson.
It is, and there's a silver lining.
You make mistakes and you come back and you learn from them.
Yeah, no, on a serious note, but I reckon failure.
Failure
Sure.
is pretty scary, eh?
But that's from I don't know how many cans. How many cans of worms have we opened in there? How many beers have you had? No, can we have another one of those beers, please? Yeah, nah. I've probably like growing up seen I think my dad want to do things with his life, but then he hasn't been able to capitalize on it, or he just hasn't. So for me, that's kind of something that's driven a bit of a fire into me. I feel like I'm very determined to achieve the things that I set out in life. And one of those driving forces is like, I'm moving towards this ideal life that I know that I want, but I'm also like kind of running away from what I don't want. So yeah, failure is a big driver for me, definitely. And I've failed at shit for sure.
Yeah. I was just about to say, you're doing a fantastic job in terms of fulfilling that.
Yeah.
You're doing a really good job. Mine? Mate, using the same end of the towel when you get out of the bathroom and you wipe your face and ass. Doesn't that freak you out? Like, day to day, you go and pick up the towel the next day. You could be wiping your face with the part you wipe your ass. How would you know?
Yeah, but you've just showered, so you've got a little bit of how you're going down there. It's all clean.
You still get an
Sweet.
ass in face. There's a high potential that you're getting ass in face.
Just a little.
Yeah. Great. You're getting your ass in your face? Spread cheeks.
Funny story. Have you ever done the impossible sit-up?
No.
What is it?
What's this got to do with asses?
Yeah. I'll tell you real quick. Flashback. Still traumatizing me clearly. When I was like 7, my brother was like, "You can't even do a sit-up," and I was like, "Yeah, I can. I would fucking do 10 if you want me to." He was like, "Go on, do one." So I did one, and he goes, "Yeah, we actually know you can't do them when you're blindfolded." And I was like, "Please." I was like, "I'll do 10." And he put a blindfold on me, the fucker, and pulled his pants down.
butt inhalers.
And my nose just went straight into his ass crack. It was so cool. And I was just like, back end of the day as well. It's fucking 4 p.m. in the armo. He hasn't showered all day. It was cool. Oh, how old were you?
That is
I reckon I was like
correct.
7.
Oh, that
So
is
you're-
really
so
so
your
stewed
nose-
up there for the
He
last
had his mate there.
19 years.
Funny as fuck.
Your nose actually inserted into his
Yeah,
butt.
it didn't go into his butt.
But
it was around the crack region. And it was like...
Nearly went into his butthole.
Yeah, it was
He
unreal.
nearly sniffed his balloon tire. That's gross. Serious one. Mine would be very similar to yours, Brigham. Mine would probably be failure. I suppose mine comes into failure too, but mine comes from like self doubt. So things in the past as well create a lot of self doubt, which then make you feel like you're not good enough to achieve things or do things, and that comes in all forms, in relationships, in business, even being a good friend, doing the right thing. So that would be mine. So I suppose that I guess that comes under the umbrella of failure. Like it's hard to say self-doubt is a thing of like what scares you the most, but because I suppose self-doubt would lead to what you would consider being a failure in a sense, depending on how you word it. But
Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, my big one, self-doubt. That's something I really have to work a lot on, which I think surprises people all the times, because I think I can come across as confident in a lot of things, and I am, but there's a lot of things that I'm by no means that I'm working on. So that would be mine.
Human.
Yes, fact. PSO.
Going out of a plane when it's perfectly good to land.
Why would you bring that up? I forgot there was skydiving in 2 weeks.
2 weeks today,
Christ,
and
man.
I am actually scared that I'm going to be like a meme.
bringing this up?
Shout out to Scotty,
Yeah.
a ledge. Scotty, one of our members, got us skydiving as a thing.
I don't know if he's a legend yet.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
scared.
thanks, Scotty. If you're watching this, I'm looking at the
Cheers.
camera right
Yeah.
now. If you're watching this, Scotty,
Oh my
we're
God.
shitting bricks.
I actually think I'm going to pass out like mid-air and be like one of those fucking memes where people just share it all over the world. Here's me just freaking out.
I hate that we even keep bringing it up.
I'm alright. Like I'm. Live a
scares me.
little. You just got to live a little and just send it sometimes.
I'm literally just going to tell the bloke, fucking throw me out that door.
Yeah, you have to.
I can't go last, man. I can't.
You lost it. You lost it.
No, who's
Who's
going?
going first? Me.
What's Claire going?
Third.
Nah.
And Reese is already down because he was too scared.
Yeah, Reese always.
I'm
gets
too
out of
scared
it.
too.
Man.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
But no, I'm the same. That does scare me, but I'm the same as you. Self-doubt, I think, is probably the biggest thing for me, which I've gotten a lot better with, obviously, since having you guys back me. Since I've started working in the space, it's actually helped me a lot. And I think it's surrounding yourself with people that will pull you up and, boost your ego a little bit when you need it. But like believe in you. And I think that's helped me a lot with mine. But yeah, self-doubt, fear of failure, all those ones, I think.
That'd be number
It's
one.
tough, isn't it?
Mm.
That'd definitely be number one.
You can channel that in a really positive way, though, for sure. Get after it in life.
That's what
Get
I
after
have
what
you
want.
around, Mitchell.
And if you have a
Always bring in
fear
good perspective.
of going to the gym, then you can contact us at the Hybrid HQ on Instagram.
You can tackle that fear.
You can see us on Facebook at the Hybrid Headquarters or our website www.thehybridhq.com.au.
Or if you wanted to get in
I'm
touch,
gonna come over with a little email, maybe, and that would be found at info at. That was one of my shitter ones. Damn it! Let me bring it back.
hold on, I'll give you another one. And
And
if
maybe
they
you
were
want to
to
just
email-
reach out and just say hey, and that's okay. Because if you do, we'll say hey back. And one of the best ways to do that would be to email us at info@thehybridhq.com.au. And I'm thinking loud.
You are thinking so loud. I think we all just thought very
Very
loud.
loud.
Are you thinking?
It's the loudest.
Is it weird that we're somehow thinking the same thing and now we're speaking it? So it's thinking loud
I think that stone and wood actually amplified my thoughts out loud too.
about
Stone would
someone,
help.
very
table.
special
I know.
to us. And someone that's very special in what he does and his ability
And
to
just-
produce the best content.
Makes this happen is the man himself, Andrew Cooney. Think loud. Absolute brilliant man, isn't he?
Like, I love Andrew as well.
Specimen. Just the man.
He also provided the beers too. So.
He provides everything. He's just so good.
But as always, because we're very serious, on a serious note, if you're looking for some like quality podcast production, even just in the realm of the content space as a whole, he is definitely your man.
He's definitely the best at what he does. So if you want to elevate your business, elevate your personal brand, he's the man to get in contact with.
Yeah.
Reach out now.
Reach out. Briggsy, hit him with it.
See ya.